Hello and welcome to this week's What's Hot. Apart from my greenhouse where temperatures reached 47 degrees Celsius, but what is hot is definitely gold. Anything to do with gold, nuggets, fine scrapings, fool's gold, iron pyrite, anything to do with gold as the price of bullion breaches $2,000 per troy ounce. That's why Panther Metals was in the investor spotlight this week. It has identified not just a few, but a huge number of new anomalies at its Big Bear prospect in Canada. In a challenging tree-covered terrain, an airborne survey has identified 253 geophysical anomalies, with 39 designated for priority investigation. Well, what is obviously not a priority is the poor flora and fauna which is getting crushed underneath those quad bikes. Well, just like the gold-related stocks, the life science-related companies and those involved with COVID-19 treatments and solutions have certainly never been far away from the headlines, including Open Orphan. Well, its subsidiary hVivo has signed a £4 million contract with an unnamed top 3 global pharma company. The respiratory virus or RSV trial will take place at hVivo's London quarantine unit and is expected to be completed by the end of the first quarter next year. Well, last week I spoke with Chairman Cahill Friel, and he wasn't fibbing when he said this.
We developed very rapidly Open Orphan as world's leading tester of vaccines and antivirals. So it's a nice place for us to have ended up as we head into the end of the summer.
And since that conversation, the share price has increased by £10 million. I'd obviously like to think it was down to me, but I hardly think that that is the case. Also, it's a time to revisit the good work being done by the boys and girls at Vox Markets, who have created the COVID-19 Crusaders Index, which you are looking at the moment. Well, staying with life sciences, let me draw your attention to Oncimmune. Now, this company was certainly in the headlines, thrust into the headlines due to an ITV news report, which featured its early CDT lung blood test, which enables earlier and accurate diagnosis of lung cancer in high-risk patients. That could mean an intervention is offered early. And to give you some sort of idea about what the ITV news report said, this was its conclusion.
Detection saves lives. The lung cancer test has been recommended for use in the NHS. If it's given full approval, many more patients could benefit from screening for this deadly disease. Ben Chapman, ITV News, Nottingham.
Now, one company that has slipped below the headlights because some investors don't really get what the company does is Supply at Me Capital. Well, more and more investors are certainly wanting to get to know what the company does after its stellar rise in its share price earlier this week. It's listed on the main market of the London Stock Exchange. It's a fintech firm with a platform that allows companies to sell stock and at the same time keep it on consignment to Supply at Me's special purpose vehicles. And if you're none the wiser, it certainly doesn't matter, particularly if you benefited from the 50% rise in the share price, which followed the announcement that the company has inked a memorandum of understanding with a Middle East investment company for its first pilot in the region as part of a planned rollout of its inventory monetization platform. And then there's Kibo Energy with a 50% rise in its share price on Tuesday. The reason? Is it a leak? Is it the market makers? Is it somebody who's had too much sun? Or is it investors having a lot of fun? Whatever the reason, it's hot out there. Stay well, stay safe, stay cool. Till next week's What's Hot. Cheerio.